Hello, everyone. This is my first time doing a YouTube live stream, and I'm doing this for the first time for my new podcast, Lexie's Book Nook, where we talk about all things books. So you see behind me, this is my little book nook. I just moved into a new condo, so I want to really showcase books, talk about books, talk about book club recommendations, review them, and see if you like it. You can answer my questions or have additional questions for me. I'm going to have 3 to 5 different questions for each book that I'm going to read per month. So I'm going to try to go through like 5 books a month of book club recommendations. There are 2 book clubs I'm a part of. There's one back at home where I just moved from, and one here where I just moved to. So there are 2 book clubs, 2 different book club recommendations. I'm also going to go through Reese Witherspoon's book club picks. I really like her books, and she has a lot of really good ones that have been adapted from books to TV or movies, and I haven't found a book that I haven't liked yet, so I want to read more of hers and see what else she recommends. She just recommended a January pick for 2023. I'm reading that now, but that's something in addition to what I'll discuss by the end of the month. But for the first episode today and on my podcast on Spotify, I'm just going to go over these books real quick, what books I'm reading. And then for the next episode, by the end of the month, I'll be really talking about them in depth and some questions about them. So I'm going to show a few of them what I have. Some of them are audiobooks, some I already returned because it's back at home. Like for the book club I'm part of at home, it's called Books on Tap. We read a book and then we meet at a local bar and we have a drink, talk about books, discuss it. So that's why it's called Books on Tap. That book is tomorrow. I'm still waiting to get a hold of it on Libby or at the library. I know they've added some more books, but it's still not in stock yet. But that is the first book that I have on my list. The second one for the book club back at here is called Portrait of a Thief. So this is what it looks like. This YouTube channel will also be on Patreon for a paid subscription if you want to see my book nook, get inspiration, and see the covers of these books, see how beautiful these covers are. If you're on Spotify, it's free, but it's audio only. If you're on Patreon and YouTube, you can get a video and a picture of what these books look like and get inspiration from my book nook to create your own or revamp your own that you already have. But this is the book club book for where I am right now, Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. So this is the second book on the list. And then Reese's book, I just finished. It was on audiobook. But that is Honor by Thrity Umbergar. I just finished it today, but I will discuss more about that later. I have it on audiobook, so I don't have a visual copy. So it really just depends on the availability of these books. So you might not be able to see them. If you want to see a picture, I do save them on my phone in case you want to look for them and you're just not sure what it looks like. So it's red with mangoes and Honor. Read the book to figure out why there are mangoes on the cover. And then I have some books on my TBR list of books that are to be read, so TBR. And I try to keep these books in theme for the month. But for now, I have Ice Planet Barbarians. I finished it. Very good, very hard to put down. So just based off the cover, it is not for children. I wouldn't recommend this for anybody under the age of 13. It is PG-13, but there is a lot of explicit language. There is sex language. So if you're a mother and you're or a father or whoever, and you have children who love to read too, it's to your discretion. I would not recommend it to my children. I don't have any, but just be warned, there is some language that might not be fitted for children. And then there's also Anxious People. I just finished this last night by Frederick Bachman. Very, very good book. It's a little weird. All his books have a great sense of humor. The characters are interesting. They're entertaining. You want to go facepalm because these people are ridiculous, but they're very real. His stories are very down to earth, and I absolutely love him. This is only my second book by him. I've listened to A Man Called Uva. When I saw the book title, I thought it was A Man Called Ove, but if you listen to the audiobook, you get the correct pronunciation. I also have another book that I'm reading right now. It's on my TBR list. I will go grab that because I don't have it on me. I have What Alice Forgot by Leah Moriarty. So on my TBR list, I'm going to go over some of my favorite authors and try to read more of them. Obviously, one of mine is J.K. Rowling. If anybody knows me, I love the Harry Potter franchise. I will not be rereading them unless I have like a rewind theme for the month. Like it's going over Hunger Games, Twilight, Harry Potter. Don't have that in the foreseeable future right now. I would like to read new books and book club recommendations. But one of my favorite authors is Leah Moriarty. Frederick Bachman is one of my newest ones. Chris Bajalian. And there's some more that are coming up. Oh, Sarah J. Maas is one of my newest favorites from A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I'm going to try to go through a TBR list of authors that I really like. Leah Moriarty is one of them. And then Reese Witherspoon released her January 2023 book club recommendation. I'm reading that on my phone. I don't usually like to read on my phone because I just want to reduce the blue light. But that is A House in the Pines. And I will open that up in case you are looking for that as well. The House in the Pines. Here, you're going to be looking at what I'm reading right now on Libby. But it's going to look like that on top. It looks like a key in the background and a small cabin behind that key. The key is overlapped on that naturistic background in that cabin. So here it is again. So those are all the books that I'm reading for this month. So in total, I have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I have Portrait of a Thief. And then I have Reese's Honor and The House in the Pines. So I'm already way ahead of track. Ice Planet Barbarians and Anxious People. So I have read a lot so far, and I'm still working on it because I can't stop reading, and I hope you can't either. I love to discuss books, so this is where the platform is. If you want to talk anything about books, all things books, you have some discussion questions you want to share to me so I can talk about it on Spotify or here on YouTube. I'll have it on Patreon so you can have this visual right here. One of my 2023 New Year goals is to not alphabetize this by authors, but rather color code it because it looks much more prettier. So by the time we have the next episode, you can see how beautiful my book nook is. And then you'll have this YouTube and Patreon for visual effects, get inspiration. Well, you can find me on Spotify as well. And the next episode will be the end of the month where we talk about these books and discussion questions. So thank you for joining me and keep reading.